Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I wanted to kind of break down the key steps to buying a home from the complete start to closing day to moving in, and just kind of go through all of the steps of the home buying process and break down exactly what happens in each one. So if you're thinking about buying a home, or if you're looking at homes right now and wondering kind of what the process is and what you can expect, hopefully this will help you out. So let's just jump right on in. So if you are new to the home buying process or are really early on in the process and are just getting started, the first thing that you're going to want to do is to talk to a realtor. And I know that this can seem a little bit overwhelming and even a little bit scary, especially if this is your first time buying a home. But really just finding a realtor that you like and trust and really connect with early on in the process is so beneficial. And even if you're a few months or a year or whatever the case may be out from actually buying, the earlier you talk to a realtor, honestly, the better it is, because as soon as you start with them, they can help you get a timeline established and just, help you create a roadmap to accomplishing your goals and just getting you on the right path toward home buying. So even if it's a while out and you think that it might not be the best time, just go ahead and talk to a realtor and see if you connect with them and just get that process started, because that way when you are ready to seriously buy, you'll already have the groundwork laid and it'll just be smooth sailing from there. Okay, step 2 is to get pre-approved or at least pre-qualified with a lender. And this again is a lot of step that I feel like a lot of people are scared of and they really try to put off. And I know that it might seem scary to talk to a lender and to really dive into your financial situation, but I promise doing this early on in the process is another thing that is so helpful if you're wanting to buy a home or if you're getting ready to buy a home, because for one, it'll give you a really accurate picture of your financial situation and how much home you can really afford, especially if you go ahead and get fully pre-approved, depending on how far out you are from buying. But it'll honestly just save you so much time and headache knowing exactly how much you can afford and what you can do with your financial situation before you start looking at houses. Because I've seen a lot of buyers, and honestly, I've been there myself too, where you go and look at homes that you think you might be able to afford or that you really want, and then you fall in love with them and you find out that it's just not really realistic for you right now. So just doing this early on in the process and getting an accurate idea of where you're at is just the best thing that you can do for you and for your realtor. That way you have just a good jumping off point and you can start off on the right foot knowing exactly where you're at with your finances. All right, step 3, and this is where it starts getting fun, is when you can start looking at houses and start scheduling showings. And generally at this point with my buyers, we'll either sit down again and just kind of talk about what exactly they're looking for in terms of the size of the house, the price point, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, just kind of your overall wants and needs of what you want in a house. And then we'll get you set up on a property watch. So we'll take a look at any existing listings that match that criteria. And then you'll also get notified whenever a new listing comes up that matches that criteria. And then as soon as you see one that you're interested in, we'll schedule showings and we'll go take a look. So from there, once you find a house that you're interested in and you decide that you want to put an offer in on it, you and your realtor will work together to come up with an offer to present. And right now the market is pretty crazy, so there's sometimes some extra steps that go into it, just in terms of negotiating with the seller and trying to make your offer as strong as possible. But as soon as you find a house that you are interested in and you want to go ahead and put in an offer, that's when you'll do that. And then fingers crossed, from there you'll go under contract. So from there, once your offer is accepted and you go under contract on the house, one of the first things that you'll generally do is schedule your home inspection. And of course, this is an optional thing, but in general, I always recommend that buyers do it just to make sure that there's no issues with the house that could have been avoided, and it also gives us a longer window to address any issues that come up. And what this is where a licensed inspector will go out to the house and inspect it basically from top to bottom, just make sure that everything is good with it, and that there's no damage or any huge issues with the house that you should be aware of before you start going further into the escrow process, and especially before you buy the house. From there, the big thing that comes up after that is the appraisal. And that's kind of a similar process to the home inspection. It's where a licensed appraiser will go out to the house and just kind of look over the condition of the property, take into account the neighborhood, any upgrades that might have been made on the house, and then also do some research into properties that have recently sold around the same area that are comparable to the house that you're buying. And from there, they'll come up with their opinion of the market value and give it to your lender. And your lender usually wants this done just to make sure that the money that they're lending you to buy the house is an accurate value of the house. And sometimes the appraisal might come back higher or lower than the asking price, and in that case, there's probably a little bit more negotiation that will happen between you and the sellers, but that's something that your realtor will guide you through and that you can talk through if that does come up. And then from there, you're gonna do your final walkthrough of the house. And this is basically what it sounds like. It's where you and your realtor will walk through the house and just make sure that everything is working as it should, that any repairs that you requested after the home inspection were fixed, and all of that is good to go. It's basically just your chance to make sure that everything looks good and everything is in its place and as it's supposed to be before the final part of the escrow process, and just to make sure that everything looks good before you sign your documents and become the new owner. And then from there, it's time for closing, and closing day is usually done either just with you and your realtor, or sometimes the seller and their agent will want to be there. It's usually at the title company that you've and your realtor have been working with, and usually takes about an hour. And that is just where you're going to sit down and go through all of the paperwork, sign all the documents. You're going to pay your closing costs, and sometimes you'll need to either bring a cashier's check or have the money wired to pay those costs. So after closing, the paperwork will be filed with the county recorder's office, and that's when the title will officially be transferred to you. And then from there, you'll get the keys to the house and you can officially move in. The house is yours and you're a new homeowner. So yeah, there you have it. Those are some of the key steps to buying a home and some of the main steps to the closing process. So wherever you're at in this process, I hope that kind of helped to clear up any confusion and just gave you a better idea of what to expect when it comes to buying a home. And if you are in the Vegas area and are looking to buy or sell or even rent, I would love to help you out. And if you have any questions on home buying, selling, real estate in general, I would be more than happy to answer them. I'm going to leave my contact information in the box below, but you can always feel free to connect with me on social media or just leave any questions or comments in the comments below, and I would love to help you out as best as I can. So until next time, thank you guys for watching. Bye.